be discussing the world's most vexing problem. The speech time is 18 to 20 minutes. Please help me welcome Eric to the lectern.
Good morning, Toastmasters.
Good morning.
And guests. You see it, you're not going to be able to see. There we go. Perhaps. The world's most vexing problem. Sounds a little bit depressing in the middle of the holiday season. So I want to talk about this problem, and let's do it in the form of a game. So I'm going to put some buckets up here, and let's see, I'm going to call this bucket chronic disease. Call that marker already gone. This is called the game of death. So we have here microbic, organic, we have kinetic, we have, what do we have? Toxic, genetic, microbic, kinetic, toxic, and that should do it. I've got 5. That's the leg. Yeah, that is 5. Chronic disease. How fortunate to not have an extra bucket of death. So here's how the game works. You tell me a way that you can die, and we'll put it in the bucket. So heart attack. Heart attack, for the most part, is going to find itself in the chronic disease bucket. Now, I say that with caution, as toxic. Right? Heart attacks can be caused by poison. You can take the wrong thing and get a heart attack. You can also genetically. That's what's
There you go.
I don't know.
right. You can have a genetic defect, but the preponderance of all heart attacks can be found in the chronic disease bucket. Another way.
Drowning.
Drowning. Awesome. Drowning is kinetic. Right? It takes energy. If you're shot, if you're stabbed, if you fall off a building, if you're in a car crash, you die kinetically. Another way.
Opioids.
Opioids. Opioids, for the most part, we'll just put it right here. So, and here's the interesting thing. If I put you on the couch and force you to eat opioids, I poisoned you. It's toxic. If you did it to yourself, belongs here. Belongs here. Chronic disease. What else?
So binge drinking would go under toxic?
Alcohol. Again, right? Some people, now there is evidence that there are predisposed genetic conditions to alcoholism. Preponderance of all alcoholism is found in this bucket. Same scenario. If I just kept pouring it down your mouth, I would poison you. If you do it to yourself, it's here. Other way to die.
Food poisoning.
Food poisoning. Food poisoning, oh, that's really interesting. So food poisoning can be food poisoning can be microbic. It could be bad food, it could be botulism, that type of thing. Food poisoning can also be toxic, bad food. Food poisoning can also be chronic in the sense that you overeat to the extent that you die, or the things that you overeat with eventually could lead to this. So we can put food here, and we can put food here, we can put food here, and then there are some people that say that, you know, I'm just genetically predisposed to being fat. So we can put it here. But the preponderance of death from food would be in this bucket here. Another way.
Fire. Fire.
Fire would be kinetic. Right? Fire would be kinetic. Other way to die.
Old age.
Old age.
Ah, thank God.
Finally, right? So old age I'm going to put in the organic bucket. I mean, which way would you want to die? Organic would be the way. Now, when I say organic, to me, it means, and I think of the elephants, right? When an elephant's ready to die, it separates itself from the herd. It goes, it lays down, and it dies. And we see this in our pets. When our pets are ready to go, what do? They stop eating. They stay to themselves, they go hide and die. Unfortunately, in our country, we have a multi-trillion-dollar system that doesn't allow us to organically die. We spend billions of dollars on increasing longevity, keeping people alive. Sometimes it's almost like the wheel of death, right? The respiratory therapist doesn't want him on his watch, gives it to the pulmonologist. Pulmonologist says, no, I'm giving it to the kidney guy. Let him die on the kidney guy. Kidney guy gives him to the head guy and say, no, this guy's got problems. And we spend billions of dollars keeping people alive in that, and don't let us die organically. Most deaths that occur in a hospital occur between 1 in the morning and 4 in the morning, because that's when people are alone and don't have the will of their supporters willing them to live. How else?
Car crash?
Car crash, kinetic.
Yep.
How else?
Heart defect.
Okay, heart defect would be there with heart attack, would be there with all of the circulatory problems that you would have. And again, heart attack could be sometimes genetic, sometimes organic.
Cancer.
Cancer, put that right here in this bucket. The predominant amount of cancer is right here in the chronic disease bucket. Now, you can have cancer from kinetic, sun, right? Stay out in the sun too long, that's a kinetic. Some people are genetically predisposed to cancer, but the preponderance of all cancer in this country is from chronic disease. Do you get that this is a big bucket? This is a big bucket. Do you see that these buckets over here are primarily accidents, right? You didn't cause this. You know, maybe you had bad parents. Maybe you had a car crash, or you drowned. Or maybe you caught a bug, AIDS, Ebola, whatever it is. These are primarily, these are accidents. These are willful decisions. We willfully decide that we want to die by any of those methods right there. The CDC estimates that 80% of all deaths occur in this bucket. More striking than that, they say 88% all medical costs are directed in this bucket. The world's most vexing medical and financial problem. And I say medical, the interesting thing is the solution is not a medical solution. We have an industry that's geared and designed to relieve symptoms, but the solution isn't medically. There is no medical solution to these things. So when we talk about that, you'd want to know the cure, right? I mean, the problem's pretty simple, right? And the solution's pretty simple. But what's the problem? The problem is defined as sedentarism and excess carbohydrates. Sedentarism, on the couch, no activity, no tremors, no physical action. Excess carbohydrates, for the most part, we'll just name sugar as the villain. Right? It's not broccoli. It's not broccoli. It's sugar. These two, very simply, is everything in that bucket. At one level or another, either as a predictor or as a manifestation or as part of the problem. So, the problem is simple. That's the problem. Too much sugar, not enough moving around. The solution is simple. Get off the couch and get off the sugar. Simple doesn't mean easy. If we looked at, and you agree that it is a simple problem and a simple solution, then we have to agree that it's self-inflicted. All right?